Anjana Gaurangi Shri Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Shabana Devi Pranamami Haripriya Vancha Kalpatarubhesha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Vishnaya Bhagale Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swami Nidina Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Prajayini Vishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Desh Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Okay, so ninth chapter, very important chapter. It says hearing the most confidential knowledge about Krishna, the qualification and disqualification. This chapter is Raja Vidya Raja Guhyam. Okay, so why is it? Do you think it's called the king of education or king of secrets? Raja Vidya Raja Guhyam Pavitram Midam Uttamam Pratyakshavagamam Dharmam Susudam Kartamabhyam. So why do you think chapter 9 is called Raja Vidya Raja Guhyam? Yes, anyone knows? You can guess the most confidential knowledge. Why is it called as the most confidential knowledge? Yes, Archita Keshav Prabhu, Sindhu Mataji, Sanjay Prabhu, Ramya Mataji. Any idea? No? It's a king of knowledge. Why do you call something as the king of knowledge, especially this most confidential knowledge? Because that's the knowledge will take you back to Krishna. That's like eternal knowledge, the best of knowledge. There's no knowledge beyond that. Whereas it's called king of knowledge. And king of secrets. We tell secrets to whom? We tell secrets to our dear friends. So Krishna selected Arjuna to tell this secret, the most confidential knowledge. Okay, so, and here, first 3 slokas is about the qualification and disqualification. Here, Krishna's message, and 4 to 10 is about Aishwarya Jnana, Krishna's relationship with this material world. So, what's a link between chapter 8 and 9? So, in 8, we know it's been talking about how we can attain Krishna at the time of death, and then he says about the pure devotion service. So, here Krishna explains how to become a pure devotee or Ananya Bhakti, or how to think of Krishna at the time of death. So there are 3 knowledges in Bhagavad Gita. First is Guhyam, next is Guhyatara, next is Guhyatama. Guhyam is knowledge of matter and spirit. Guhyatara is knowledge of Bhakti, most confidential, more confidential, and Guhyatama is most confidential, knowledge of Kevala Bhakti. Okay, so the telling that we are not this body, we are spirit soul, that is Guhyam, confidential. Then more confidential is that Bhakti, about devotional service. And that is more confidential, Guhyatara. Then Guhyatama is Kevala Bhakti, okay, pure devotional service. So here in text 1, it's about qualification to achieve most confidential knowledge and benefits of achieving it. So Krishna is saying, Shri Bhagavan Vaja, Idam tu te guhyatamam prabhakshyami anushuyave jnanam vijnana sahitam yajnatva mokshase ashubhat. The Supreme Personality Godhead said, my dear Arjuna, because you are never envious of me, I shall impart to you this most confidential knowledge and realization, knowing which you shall be relieved of miseries of material existence. So he is saying that I'm going to tell you something. By knowing that, you'll be relieved of material miseries. Like when you hear about Krishna, 6 things will happen. Or pure devotion service, the symptoms are 6 things. First is Kleshagni. Kleshagni means all material sufferings will destroy. Then Shubhada. Shubhada means all auspicious things will happen. Then Sandrananda Visheshatma. You'll feel eternal happiness, transcendental happiness. Okay. And Moksha Lagugruti. You consider liberation also very insignificant. And it's Krishna Akarshana. It attracts even Krishna. And it is Sudurlabha, very rarely attained. So first feature is Kleshagni. Okay. When you hear about Krishna, all material distress goes away. And knowledge of pure bhakti comes, like chanting the Lord, remembering, serving, etc. And that's why Krishna is saying that this is most confident. I'm telling this why? Because you are not envious of Krishna. So what are the reasons why Krishna selected Arjuna? What are the different reasons? Yes. Hare Krishna.
Because
Yes.
he's Krishna's friend.
Friend, very good. That's one reason. Then second. Yes, Krishna's friend. What else? That's it. And who else was Arjuna? Friend and
Pure devotee.
good, pure devotee. Bhaktosi sakhacheti. Good. Friend and pure devotee. Then he's non-envious. Then, according to first chapter, last sloka, what was Krishna Arjuna's qualification? Anyone remember? First chapter, last sloka, it's mentioned. You should all have your Bhagavad Gita with you, and then you just go to the first chapter and see.
Kind-hearted, soft person.
Good, soft and kind-hearted. So that is another reason. So this is how your Bhakti Shastri answers should be. Like when it is asked why Krishna selected Arjuna, this should be your question. I mean, he is a friend. That's the first reason, friend. Next is he was a devotee. He was a friend of Krishna. He was a devotee of Krishna. Third, he was kind. Fourth, he was soft-hearted. Fifth, he was not envious of Krishna. So these are 5 reasons why Krishna selects Arjuna. Okay. And so main reason is non-envious. Because it's for nirmatsaranam sata. Bhagavatam also says, dharma prochita kaidavotra paramo parama nirmatsaranam sata. Nirmatsarana means nirmatsara, without envy. So the scriptures is basically for people who are not envious, in the sense who are pure at heart. So Prabhupada writes, as a devotee hear more and more about the Supreme Lord, he become enlightened. This hearing process is recommended in Srimad Bhagavatam. The messages of the Supreme Personality God are full of potencies, and these potencies can be realized if topics regarding the Supreme God is discussed among devotees. The devotees are constantly engaged in Supreme Lord's service. Lord understands the mentality and sincerity of a particular living entity who's engaged in Krishna consciousness, and give him the intelligence to understand the signs of Krishna. That is called Tadami Buddhi Yogam Tam Yena Mamupayandite, right? And discussion of Krishna is very potent. And if such a fortunate person has such association and tries to assimilate the knowledge, then he will surely make advancement towards spiritual realization. So what are the 2 benefits of hearing about Krishna? One is that you become spiritually advanced. Second is you get free from all material miseries. Okay, so one who hears Shrinvata Sukata Krishna Punya Shravana Kirtana Hridayandasta Bhadrani Vidunodi Suhril Satam. Shrinvata Swakata Krishna. When you hear about Krishna, then Punya Shravana Kirtana, it's very pure to hear about Krishna. Then Hridayandasta Abhadrani, all the negative things in your heart just vanishes. Just let me know if my voice is breaking. And then, Vidunodi Suhrasa, you feel really happy. So, the messages about Supreme Lord is full of potency. Okay. And how to realize these potencies? By discussing among devotees, not by association of mental speculators. The Lord help us to understand. He sees the mentality and sincerity of a living entity who's engaged in Krishna consciousness and give him the intelligence. Krishna is telling Arjuna more confidential matters to encourage Arjuna in higher and higher elevation in his potent service. So one is you'll be spiritually advanced when you hear more about Krishna. Second is you become free from material miseries. One who is situated in the most confidential knowledge is naturally transcendental. No material pangs affect him. It said, Iharyasye harardyase karma namana gira nikileshu api avasteshu jivan muktasa uchyate. So Bhakti Rasa Sindhu also says that. Okay. Even if you give up your bird's mind and action to serve Krishna, then Jivan Mukta Sachi, you are already considered to be liberated. You are already liberated, like a dry coconut. That's a nice example. The coconut is inside the shell, but still not attached to the shell. So anyone engaged is a liberated person. So this is a qualification to hear. One is you should be non-envious, and second is should be a devotee and friend of Krishna. Okay, and Parama Nirmatsara. Significance of the word idam jnanam is refers to 9-fold process of devotional service. So what are the 9 process of devotional service? Yes. What happened to everyone? Silent in the class. What are the 9 process of devotional service? Nobody knows? Achyuta Krishna Prabhu, Ramya Mataji, Sanjay Prabhu, Ram Ranjan Prabhu. 9 process of devotional service. What are the 9 things we do?
I am not, Hare Krishna Mataji, I'm not sure whether I'm correct. Devotional process, one is satsang or devotees association. Is that the chain? Am I in the right track?
Association. Okay. Little more you need to tell. Like in association, what do we do?
Shravanam, Kirtanam.
Good.
Shravanam Kirtanam. Okay.
Yes, Sanjay Prabhu. Shravanam Kirtanam. So that's the beginning of devotional service. Shravanam Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Pada Sevanam, Archanam Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakhyam, Atmanivedanam, Idi Pumsarpita, Vishnu Bhaktischannava Lakshana, Kriyate Bhagavati, Ata Tanmani, Adidamuttamam. Prahlad Maharaj says, what are the 9 processes of devotional service? You should all know this. And we are doing it every day. What is it? Shravanam Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam. Shravanam, hear about Krishna. Kirtanam, chant about the Lord, and Vishnu Smaranam, think, remember Krishna. Pada Sevanam, serving his lotus feet. Archanam, doing puja. Archanam, Vandanam, paying obeisances or worshipping. Then Archanam, Vandanam, Dhasyam, being a servant attitude. Then Sakyam, friendship. Atmanivedana, complete surrender. Okay, these are the 9 processes of devotional service. Okay, I took this topic so we can explain more. Shravanam, who is the one just by hearing about Krishna went to perfection? Shravanam, the 9 limbs of devotional service, 9 types of devotional service. First is Shravanam. Who attained perfection in Shravanam? Can either put in the chat or tell me. Unmute. Shravana, just by hearing about Krishna. Yes, Hare Krishna. Who just by hearing about Krishna attained perfection? Parikshit Maharaj. He was in listening to the Leelas. That is Shravana, but who? Parikshit Maharaj, he had just 7 days for attain perfection, and he heard from Shukadeva Goswami attain perfection. That is Parikshit Maharaj for Shravana. Kirtana, who was the one who was going on explaining Krishna's glories? Shukadeva Goswami. Smaranam, who is the one who remembers Krishna all the time? Yes, anyone remember? From 7th canto, Bhagavatam. He was just a 5-year-old boy. Who was that?
Prahlad.
Good. Prahlad. So Prahlad was in Smaranam. Okay. Pada Sevanam, who's seen always at the lotus feet of Krishna? Pada Sevanam, seen always at the lotus feet of Krishna?
Tulsi Devi.
Lakshmi Devi, goddess Lakshmi. Yes, good. And Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Padasevanam, Archanam, Prudu Maharaj, Akrura, Dasyam, who was as always in the servant attitude for Lord Ram? Hanuman, good. Nivedita Mataji. Hanuman. Yes. And who was in Sakya, who was always in friendship with Krishna?
Arjuna,
good. And Sakyam, Atmanivedanam, complete surrender. Who's the one who did complete surrender? Does anyone know? Asked for 3-step land.
Mahabali.
Bali Maharaj, good. So Bali Maharaj. So you got this: Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Padasevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakyam, Atmanivedam. These are the 9 processes of devotion service, and these are the personalities. You can see it in Nectar of Devotion. This sentence is given by Rupa Goswami, like who are the personalities who attain perfection. So for Shravanam, it is Parikshit Maharaj. Kirtanam, it is Shukadeva Goswami. Smaranam, it's Prahlad. And Padasevanam is Lakshmi Devi. Archanam is Prithu Maharaj. Vandanam is Krura. Dasyam, Hanuman. Sakyam, Arjuna. Atmanivedana is Bali Maharaj. Who is the personality who did all the 9 devotion service in perfection? Yes, Indhu Mataji, you know?
No, I don't know, Mataji. I raised hand for Vandanam. Who is it?
Vandanam is Akrura. Akrura came under Kamsa's order to take Krishna and Balram back to Mathura. so that Kamsa want to kill Krishna, but then the other way, it happened the other way around. So at the age of 11, Krishna left Vrindavan with Akrura, and Akrura was always offering Vandanam to Krishna. Okay, all 9 devotion services were done perfectly by Ambarish Maharaj. And he's the best among devotees. And Prabhupada mentions, we don't have to do all the 9. At least one of it, Shravanam and Kirtanam, if you do in perfection, you attain perfection. Yes, Mataji?
I think I got confused. Like Shravanam is Parikshit Maharaj, Kirtanam
Yes.
is Sukhdev Goswami, Smaranam is Prahlad,
Yes.
Padasevanam Goddess Lakshmi, Archanam is who?
Prithu Maharaj. Prithu.
That's Akrura? Prithu
Akrura's
Maharaj?
Vandanam. Akrura's Vandanam.
Okay. Thank you.
You can read about Prithu Maharaj in 4th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. Okay, so this is the 9th process of devotion service, and we should be doing all this. And once heart become cleansed of material contamination, when you do this, when you chant the Hare Krishna, what is happening? Cheto Darpana Marjana, cleansing happens. Gundija Marjana. One understands the science of Krishna and elevates our consciousness. And when we understand the spiritual activity, simply knowing that living entity is not material, it's not sufficient. One must understand the difference between activities of body and spiritual activities. So we should be non-envious, anasuyave. There's a qualification to hear properly. Envy is the root of misinterpretation. This set of qualification for anyone who wants to comment on Bhagavad Gita sets the qualification, but that's not, we should know. Okay. So, and useless commentaries are high academic scholars, but give inaccurate commentaries. Okay. One who criticizes the character of Krishna without knowing him is foolish. And we should avoid such commentaries. It's like a torchlight. If when there is sun, you don't need a torchlight. Okay, so like that's when Bhagavad Gita as it is there, you don't have to have commentaries, and only bona fide commentaries it's possible by the devotee. So the second sloka, very important, 8 characteristics of knowledge of pure bhakti is explained here. Raja Vidya, Raja Guhyam, Pavitram, Nidamuttamam, Pratyakshaavagamam, Dharmyam, Susugam, Kartumavayam, Raja Vidya. This is king of all education, what Krishna is explaining now, because it's the essence of all philosophy. Rajaguhya, it's a secret, king of secrets, because it's about the eternal activities of the soul. Pavitramita, it's purest of all, purifies one of all material contamination. So sometimes when people ask, can we chant Hare Krishna when somebody dies in the family or during a menstrual period? So something like that, you can chant because it's pavitra, it's pure, right? Krishna's holy name, and Krishna is so pure, nothing material can contaminate Krishna. Uttamam, it's transcendental to the darkness or ignorance of this world. Pratyakshavagama gives direct experience of the self by realization. Dharmyam, it's a perfection of religion, the service to the Supreme Lord. Susugam kartam, easily and joyfully performed. Avyayam, everlasting, eternal, and indestructible. So the 8 characteristics of knowledge of pure bhakti is that Raja Vidya, it's the king of education. Why? Because it's the essence of all the philosophy, different philosophies. And finally, Vyasadeva also have given this. Raja Guhya means it's the confidential part. This talks about the eternal activities of the soul and thus gives positive information. It's just confidential knowledge. Explains the spirit soul as imperishable and immutable. So lack of complete knowledge leads to misconception of impersonalism or voidism, and soul is always active. So this is very important. Rajaguhya. Okay, it's the most confidential part. And Pavitramidam Uttama, it's purest of all activities. Okay, because there are different grades of papa, sin which we do. Everything gets crushed by devotional service. All the sinful activities. Okay, aprarabdha, phalam, papam, bhutam, bijam, phalam, mukam. All this will get destroyed when we do devotional service. And it's pavitra. It's very pure. Okay, implies all the 4 stages can be purified. Only those purified can engage in devotional service. Uttama, it is beyond tamas. Devotional service is never contaminated by the modes, although sometimes devotees appear to be engaged like ordinary men, therefore devotional service is transcendental. Pratyakshavagama is direct perception of self. How one gets direct perception of the self? By practicing devotional service in association of advanced devotees. Okay, so by chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra without offense, one feels transcendental pleasure and gets purified quickly. If one further helps in the mission, trying to broadcast the message of devotional service, one makes spiritual progress. The advancement is irrespective of previous qualification or education. So here says Pratyaksha Vagamam Dharmyam. So it's Pratyaksha Vagam means direct perception. So devotional service is very powerful. Simply by engaging, one becomes enlightened. Like Narad Muni. right? He served the Bhakti Vedantas, the great devotees, and later on he became first he was a maid servant's son. Later on he became Narad. Everyone knows that story, right? How Narad Muni was cursed to become, how did Narad Muni get cursed to become the Dasi Putra, or the son of a maid servant? Anyone knows? Yes. Narad Muni got cursed to become the son of a maid servant. Okay, what happened? So Narad Muni, son of Brahma. Yes, Panjala Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Narad Muni was as a son of Brahma Mataji. Brahma actually wanted him to be the source of the mankind in the material world, but he will not accept it. So for that reason, he will get angry and he'll curse him to go to the lower planet. So he goes to the heavenly planets. There what happens, instead of praising the Lord, he praises a individual, the demigod. So they will all get angry that you are, praising only the demigod, not the supreme. So again, he gets cursed and he comes down to the earth. So in the earth, he will be born as the Dasi's son. And because of his desire to serve the Lord, it happens such that he will be with the saints, and they will be in Chaturmasa. The saints will visit him, the Dasi's home, his mother's home, and it is Chaturmasa, and the saints will perform the Chaturmasa activities and all, and Narada Muni will be involved in that. So he gets delivered from the material world. I told it very simply, Mataji.
Yes. So here it is said, like Narada Muni, how it was such an advanced devotee. And then what happened? Just because of serving the Bhakti Vedantas, okay, some fall down happened. He became the son of maid servant. And then Bhakti Vedantas gave him the mercy. He became Narada Muni. Okay. So this is the 8 characteristics. What is it? It is very easy to do. Okay. Rajavidyam, Pavitram, idamuttamam, Pratyakshavagham, Dharmyam, Susukam Kartamayam. Susukam Kartamayam means it's very easy to perform devotional service. So it's a dharmya, it's the highest goal of all religion is devotional service. Bhagavad also explains, Savai Pumsa Paro Dharmo Yeto Bhaktir Adokshaje, Ahaituki Apratihada Yatma Suprasidati. So our dharma is to do devotional service to Adokshaja, Krishna, and it should be how? Ahituki apradihada. It should be unmotivated, uninterrupted. Ye atma suprasida, completely satisfying the self. Okay, so it's very important. A person who accepts the path of devotional service is not bereft of results of deriving from studying Vedas, performing sacrifices, undergoing austerities, giving charities, pursuing philosophical and fruitive activities. Simply by performing devotional service, it attains all that. Vedeshu yatnyeshu tabassu chaiva dhaneshu yat punya phalam pradishtam atyedi tat sarvamidam viditva yogi param sthanam upahiti chatyam. So this potency of devotional service is so potent that without performing regular religious process, one can be raised to highest perfection. Okay, simply by association of great acharyas. One knows an association of great acharyas, even if he's not educated, not studied the Vedas, can become familiar with all the knowledge. The story of Narad Muni, as Mataji said. And it's Susukam, it's very easily performed. Is there any difficulty to chant Hare Krishna, to hear Kirtan, to hear Krishna Katha, then to have prasadam, to dance in the Kirtan? So much engagement, right? Positive engagement for the senses. So Prabhupada's right, one can simply hear the chant and chant the glories of the Lord and get transcendental knowledge. Simply by sitting, one can learn. Then one can eat the remnants of food offered to Krishna. Right? In every stage, devotional service is joyful. So great sages like Sanat Kumar became great devotees by eating the tulsi leaves offered to Lord Krishna's feet. Does anyone know when this happened? The 4 Kumaras? Any idea? Okay, the 4 Kumaras went to meet Lord Vishnu in Vaikunta. So in the 7th door, what happened? Jaya Vijaya stopped them. Okay, and that's how the cursing happened. Right? The Jaya Vijaya was cursed. Jaya Vijaya was cursed to become whom? In 3 lives by the 4 Kumaras. In Treta Yuga they came as whom, in Dwapar Yuga they came as whom, and Yes, anyone knew? Satyuga, Satya, Treta, and Dwapara. Yes, Nivedita Madhji, good. Yes. So she writes in the chat. So she says, yes. So when Jaya Vijaya stopped the four Kumaras, yes, the four Kumaras cursed them to become demons in 3 lives. In Satyuga, they came as Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu, who's Prahlad's father. So Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu. Second life, that is in Treta Yuga, they came as Ravana and Kumbhakarna. And in Dwapara Yuga, they came as Shishupal and Dandavakra. Okay. Yeah. So this Susukam, this devotional services, Susukam, very easily can be performed. One can simply hear and chant the glories of the Lord, and joyfully it can be performed. Like and that time when they cursed, the Lord want to come and interfere. So he came out, gave darshan to the four Kumaras, and that time they saw the beautiful form of Lord Vishnu. Till that they were Brahmavadis, they were worshipping Brahman. But after seeing the form, they started getting attracted to Krishna's personal form, and they smelled the tulsi that was offered on the lotus feet of Krishna. And that's how they became devotee. So in every state, devotional services can be joyfully performed. One can execute devotional service even in the most poverty-stricken condition, like Patna Pushpam Paramtaram. Even we can give a leaf, flower, fruit, water to Krishna. And it's Avyayam. Rajavidya Rajaguhyam Pravitram Idamuttama Pratyakshavagamam Dharmyam Susugam Avyayam. Avyayam means eternally existing. Okay, it refutes Mayavadi conception. Mayavadi say what? Krishna doesn't exist, and like we are one, I am one, you are one, we are not. Should be Sayuja Mukti, we should be liberated and become one with the Lord. No. So here it is said that one who is thus transcendently situated, realize the Supreme Brahman, becomes fully joyful. Okay. So we should be equally disposed to every living entity. In that we get pure devotional service. And only by devotional service can you understand Krishna. Bhakti Amama Vijanadi, Krishna says. Evam prasanna manaso Bhagavad Bhakti Yoga Daha Bhagavad Tattva Vijnana Mukta Sangasya Jayade. This established in the mode of unalloyed goodness, the man whose mind has been enlivened by contact with devotional service of the Lord gains positive scientific knowledge of the personality of God in state of liberation from all material association. So you got that sloka, very important sloka. It says Rajavidya. Okay, this Bhagavad Gita is called as Rajavidya because it's the essence of all the knowledge. Rajaguhyam is the most secret. Pavitram, it's very pure. Idam Uttamam, it's the best. Vidya Rajaguhyam, Pavitram Idam Uttamam. Pratyakshavagamam Dharmyam, gives our supreme occupation of goal. Susukam, it's very easily performed. Susukam Apsukartavyam. So Susukam Kartamavyam. So it's very easy to perform. Okay, so that's why Krishna is like, all of you should do devotional service because it's easy to perform. And Prabhupada gives a nice purport. You can read like 2-3 pages purport for this sloka. Yes, Sindhu Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, I lost my network in between, so just wanted to make sure the 8 characteristics is Rajavidya, Rajaguhya, Pavitram,
Yeah, it's pure.
and Pratyakshava.
Yes.
Pratyakshavagamam,
Dharmyam Susukam.
And Avyayam. So
Yeah.
that is only 7, no?
No, Rajavidyam, Rajaguhyam, Pavitram. Idam Uttamam. Pavitram and Uttamam is different. Pavitram, Uttamam.
Okay.
Okay, Pratyakshavagamam Dharmyam Susukam Kartamavyam. So these are the 8 characteristics. And the 3rd sloka, he says, the faithless cannot understand Krishna because faith is very important. Right? Ado Shraddha Tado Sadhu Sangha. Bhajana Kriya. Like that it goes. So first is Shraddha. First is faith. So development of faith is the process of Krishna consciousness. So what is definition of faith? In Chaitanya Charitamrita says, simply by serving Krishna, one can achieve all perfection. That is watering the root of the tree. Just by watering the root, the whole plant gets nourished. Or simply by feeding the stomach, all the body parts get nourished. So how faith is created? By association of devotees. When you associate with devotees, faith automatically comes. And 3 types of Krishna conscious men are there on the basis of faith. The 3rd level is the lowest. Okay. So what are these? How are they classified? Based on the faith, how are devotees classified? Anyone know? There are 3 types of devotees based on faith. What is the classification of devotees? How many types of devotees are there? Yes? No idea. The three classification, yeah, what are they? The three types. Which is level 1, which is level 2, and which is level 3. What is that first class also called as? And second class and third class. Yes? Who knows? Can put in the chat also. Yes, Manjula Mataji.
Mataji, is that Ananya Bhakti? Who
No,
has
no,
Ananya?
this is yeah, he has it. That first level or highest class of devotees have Ananya Bhakti, but they are called as who? Like Srila Prabhupada, all the acharyas, gurus. They are called as second level and third level. What are they called as? Okay, Kanishta, Madhyama, Uttama. Okay, so the third level is Kanishta, the first level. I mean, just first level in the sense, third, the lowest, because they don't have no good faith and they don't have knowledge of scriptures. They easily fall down. They're just neophytes. You can also say Kanishtas or neophytes and may officially be engaged in devotional service but cannot achieve highest perfectional stage. Like people will come with hidden motives. There are 4 types of Kanishtas. Who are they? Kanishta devotees can be 4 types. Artho, Artarthi, Jnane, Jitnyasu. Okay. So the Kanishta, first is the lowest is the Kanishta Adhikari. Next is Madhyama. Madhyama means middle, the second class. The second class, they have firm faith, but they're not advanced in scriptures. They simply try to follow by association and simplicity. And the best, the first class devotees are called Uttamadhikari. They have firm faith in Krishna and they are well versed in scriptures. No chance of falling down. Okay, so Kanishta, Madhyama, and Uttama. These are 3 types of devotees. And based on the faith, they are classified. So faithless people cannot understand Krishna. Yes, Pandaji Sindhumadan.
I didn't get Madhyama. They have faith, but
yes, not scriptural knowledge. They don't have much scriptural knowledge.
Okay.
Hare Krishna Mataji, you've spoken about Kanishtas.
Yeah.
4 types of Kanishtas, Arto, Artharti, and what are the rest, Mataji?
Jnani and Jitnyasu. Jnani and Jitnyasu. We have learned no, in the 7th chapter. Chadurvida Bhajande Mam Jana Sugridina Orjana Arto Jitnyasu Artarthi Jnani Jabara Darshapa. Arto means the distressed. Artarthi, who want money. Arto Artarthi Jnani, who has had knowledge. And Jitnyasu, who's inquisitive. So these are 4 kind of people. They have some hidden intention before coming to Krishna consciousness. So we all were like that. We all started like that as a neophyte stage. That's called Kanishta Adhikaris. There are 4 of them. Their faith is not so strong and they don't have any knowledge in the scripture. But as you advance in Krishna consciousness, you comes to Madhyama level. And Madhyama level, you're not much knowing about the scriptures, but you have faith in Krishna. And next you become highest, that's the Uttamadhikari stage, where you're well versed in scriptures and you have strong faith. Okay, these are the 3 classifications. So again, Prabhupada says, Krishna says the faith is most important factor for progressing in Krishna consciousness. Ashraddha dhana purusha dharmasya parantapa aprapya mam nivartante mrityu samsara vatmani. Those who are not faithful in this devotional service cannot attain me, O conqueror of enemy. Therefore, they return to the path of birth and death in this material world. So if we are not having faith in Krishna and Krishna's words, then what happens? We can't go back to Krishna. We have to have much faith in Krishna's words. So faithless find this part very difficult. They keep questioning about everything what Krishna does. Yes, can a 7-year-old boy lift Govardhan? Come on, we go to Govardhan. We did parikrama for 6 hours. It's like 25 kilometers long. Can you think somebody at the age of 7 lived? So we start doubting like this because we pull Krishna towards our level. When we were 7-year-old, we think that. But he's not a normal person like us with flesh and bones and all. He's transcendental. He's Sachidananda, right? We pull the Lord towards our level. That's why when we have a lot of misconception about Radharani, because we pull her towards material level. They are transcendental. They are not to be pulled into material platform. So you have to believe whatever is in the scriptures. We should not put doubt on it, because when you put doubt on it, what happens? You can never achieve Krishna. Even after hearing about Krishna and excellence of devotional service, they think it to be simply eulogy. This is one of the offense, right? What is it? To not have complete faith in devotional service, or in complete faith in chanting of the holy name, and still having material attachment. So this is like, even after hearing, all the glories. You consider the glories of chanting Hare Krishna to be imagination. That's the fifth offense. So the fifth offense of the holy name, that's also offensive, right? The glories of holy name, like when we say just by chanting you can go back to Krishna, you don't believe. That means we're doing offense. So no, faith should be there. Okay, so if you don't have faith, then there's very little hope of perfection. Destiny of faithless is that they return to the path of birth and death. Okay, so faith is very important. And 4th to 9th slokas, Aishwarya Jnana, Krishna's relationship with this world is being mentioned. Okay, so Lord supports. It says, Maya tadam idam sarvam jagat avyakta murtina matstani sarva bodhani nachaham tesha vastita. By me, in my unmanifested form, this entire universe is pervaded. All beings are in me, but I am not in them. Why do Krishna say like this? All beings are in me, I am not in them. Can somebody explain this part? That line, can you explain that line? All beings are in Krishna, but Krishna is not in them. But Krishna is in our heart as Paramatma, right? All of you knows. Krishna resides in our heart as Paramatma, right? Then why is it said that I am not in them? Yes, Manjula Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Krishna is the expansion in the form of Paramatma. Is just a part in our soul. But
Okay.
Krishna, he himself, like we all rest on him. Everything, spiritual and material, everything rests on him as the pearls are strung on a thread.
Good.
So it's just the part of it. So Paramatma is part. He is not complete. The absolute truth is superior than the Paramatma.
Okay. Yes. So, yes, Indhu Mataji, what is your reply?
Avyakta Murtina. That is, he is there in everything, but he Manjula Mataji said that, but he's there. He's not there in the material manifestation of the other energies. But he's two different energies: superior, spiritual, and inferior. Material energy. Yeah.
So basically what it means is he's aloof, right? Even though he's as Paramatma in our heart, Prabhupada mentions here in the 3rd paragraph, he's everywhere and everything is in Krishna, but he's aloof from it. Aloof means he's not attached. No karma binds Krishna. He's not attached to it. The example given, anyone remember and know the analogy that Prabhupada mentioned in this chapter, in this verse? Just search the 2nd paragraph, you'll get. What is the analogy here? I don't want to spoon feed you. You should know. You should search, put effort. At least you should read and come actually. The other batches, they read and come. They prepare and come the next 10 or 20 slokas. So it's like very easy. This batch, nobody's reading. This is the 2nd paragraph, the 9.4. What is Krishna? The analogy Prabhupada mentions. The Krishna is aloof. What is the analogy given?
A king heads a government, which is but the manifestation of the king's energy.
Good.
The different government departments are nothing but the energy of the king, and each department is resting on the king's power.
Yes.
But still, one cannot expect the king to be present in every department personally. This is the crude example.
Similarly, Prabhupada says, all manifestation that exists in Krishna, yes, Prabhupada. So, but then he is aloof. So Prabhupada says that, no? That the king knows about every thing happening in the government because every decision is taken from the king. He may not be personally there, but he knows everything. The king's power is there. Similarly, Krishna, he knows everything. Another example is given like chief engineer of a complicated construction, okay, big construction. He may not be personally there in every nook and corner, but everything he knows directly and indirectly, because everything happens under his sanction. There will be different supervisors to take care. Like that, for Krishna, there are different demigods to take care of all the things, but everything is working under Krishna's instruction. So in that way, he's aloof from everything, but still he knows everything. Okay, so Krishna has complete his glorification, the most confidential knowledge he will speak. And in coming up the verses, he begins describing the Achintya Beda, that is simultaneously oneness and differences. And here he says about the Aishwarya Jnana here. Okay, he says that he's all pervading. His Lord pervades in the entire universe. And his Avyakta Murtina, he's in unmanifested form. we may not be able to see because it says Ada Shri Krishna Namadina Bhavegrahim Indriye Sevan Mukhe Hijihvato Swayameva Swaratita. Lord Krishna's name, fame, pastimes, etc. cannot be understood by material senses. Right? Only who's engaged in pure devotional service can understand this. Right? And how do we see Krishna? Rema Janacharita Bhakti Vilojanena Sanda Sadaiva Hrideshu Vilogayandi Yam Shyama Sundara Achintya Gunaswarupam Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. So we should have the ointment of love to see Krishna. Okay, so he says a worship Govinda who's can be seen only with the eyes of ointment of love. The Lord supports and pervades the entire universe through his energies. Krishna says, all beings are in me, but I am not in them. Okay, meaning everything rests in Krishna, as Madhu said, Mai Sarvanitam Protam, Sutre Manigana Iva, as pearls are strung in the thread, right? Like everything rests, but we cannot see the thread. But it's because of the thread, the pearls are there. If we cut that thread, all the pearls will fall down. Similarly, Krishna holds everything, but we cannot see. That doesn't mean Krishna is not there. So entire cosmic manifestation is a combination of Krishna's energy, superior spiritual energy, and inferior material energy. Analogies like the sunshine, it spreads all over the creation. All universe are resting in the sunshine. Similarly, all creation is resting in Krishna's energy. So Krishna says, I am not in them. It implies that Lord, by all perceiveness, does not lose his personal existence. It feels that since God is all pervading, he has lost his personal existence. No, that is Mayavadi theory. That is rejected here. The analogy is about the king. Okay. Nacha matsani bhutani pashyami yogamaishwaram bhuta pranacha bhutasto mamatma bhuta bhavanaha. And yet everything that is created does not rest in me. Behold my mystic opulence. Although I am the maintainer of all living entities, and although I am everywhere, I am not a part of this cosmic manifestation for myself. It's the very source of creation. Okay. So it says Yoga Maishwara, means after explaining the previous text that all beings rest in Krishna, Lord says that the opposite, that they do not rest in me. This is contradictory. Some contradictory are there in Isha Upanishad also, that says Krishna walks, doesn't walk. He's inside, he's outside. He's close, he's far. So many contradictory has to be understood. Now this term in describe the inconceivable mystic opulence of the Lord, that everything that is created does not rest in Krishna. Not like that, less who tired of holding the globe, but Krishna is aloof. Okay, example of Krishna's inconceivable potency is the planetary system that's floating in the space. In space is the energy of the Lord, but it's different from space. And it says Yujyate Anena Durgadeshu Karyeshu. The Supreme Lord is performing inconceivable, wonderful pastimes, displaying his energy. There's no difference between his mind and himself because he's absolute spirit. So Prabhupada also writes that we might think we are doing something, but there are so many impediments. Sometimes it's not possible to do as we like. But when Krishna wants to do something, simply by his will, it can happen. Right? Everything is performed so perfectly. The sun is rising, the moon is setting, everything is happening according to Krishna's will. Yadakashastito nityam vayu sarvatra gomahan tada sarvani bhudani mastanyati upadara. Understand that as the mighty wind blowing everywhere, rest always in the sky, all created beings rest in Krishna. So Krishna gives the analogy to explain the Yoga Maishwara. Right? Analogy is the sky and the wind. So sky is the biggest manifestation to conceive. In that sky, wind is the biggest to conceive. So wind is great and has influence of all moments. But wind is never beyond the sky. It's always subordinate to the sky. Right? So all wonderful cosmic manifestation exists by the will of the Lord. And still the Lord is aloof and unaffected, just like the sky is aloof, not affected by the movement of wind. So wind and the sky. These analogies and all you should know. It's all Bhakti Shastri level. Okay. So it also says that it's out of fear of the Supreme Lord, the wind is blowing. Out of fear of the Lord, the sun is rising. Okay. So it's because of him. Under his direction, everything is happening. By the supreme order, under the superintendence of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the moon, the sun, and other planets are moving. And also it says in Brahma Samhita, Yachakshuresha Savita Sakala Grahana Raja Samasta Siramurti Rashesha Teja Yasyatmaya Brahmadi Sampramakala Chakro Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. This is a description of the movement of the sun. It said that the sun is considered to be one of the eyes of the Lord, and moon is the other eye, okay? And it has immense potency to diffuse heat and light. Still, it is moving in a prescribed orbit by the order and supreme will of Lord Govinda. 7 and 8 says about the creation and destruction of the material world by Krishna's energy. Sarva Bhudani Kaundeya Prakritim Nyandi Mamikam Kalpakshaye Punastani Kalpadau Vistrajami Aham. O son of Kundi, at the end of millennium, all material manifestations enter into my nature, and at the beginning of another millennium, by my potency, I create them again. So again and again, Krishna creates, and again, destruction happens. Prakritim swam avasthabhya vrishan jambi supuna puna udagramam imam krishnam avasham prakriti vasat. The whole cosmic order is under me. Under my will, it is automatically manifested again and again, and under my will, it is annihilated at the end. So Krishna says here, at the end of the millennium, what happens? All energy is wound up in the Lord himself. And what happens? The Lord expands himself in the material energy. He becomes many. And there's a gradual evolution of species from one form to another. All species of life are created immediately along with the universe at the beginning of creation, and based on desires and past needs of living entities. So based on our desire, we are given different bodies. Okay. If Krishna is as Parameshwara, is aloof, how does this material world continue? It is said by the supreme will. Because everything is definitely under the supreme will of the Lord, because he enters as 3 Vishnu form into Mahat Tattva to create. There is no direct involvement of the Lord. Like you can sit at home and control your bank account. Now you have an influence on it. Similarly, Krishna can be in Goloka, still control what is happening in the material world. There is no direct involvement of the Lord. He does not himself create or destroy, but the material nature does it according to his desire. It is automatically manifested, right? So Krishna says that, and Krishna has no direct involvement into this. So creation takes place to accommodate inclinations or desire of various living entities. The 9.9 says Krishna's neutrality towards material activities. How was he neutral? Nacha mamtani karmani nikandadi dhananjaya udasina vadasinam asaktam teshu karmashu. O Dhananjaya, all this work cannot bind me. I am ever detached from all material activities, seated as though neutral. So what is happening? Although the Lord creates and annihilates, but all this work cannot bind Krishna. Okay. Everything he's doing, but he cannot bind Krishna, because Lord is not directly responsible for all good and evil done in the world. Why? Who is responsible? Us, because we desired it. We can't blame Krishna for all the negative things that's happening all over the world. No, it's all because of the minute independence we've been misusing. So Udasinavat implies a lot of neutral. Example, if a high court judge, he gives a lot of decision. He hangs someone to death, he frees someone, or he gives some penalty to be paid by someone. But is he affected by it? No. Similarly, Krishna is neutral and is unaffected with the gain and loss. Lord is always neutral in material activities. Krishna says, no, Samoham sarva bhudeshu name dveshe nastina priya. Ye bhajanditu mam bhaktya mayi teteshu chabeham. So he is equal to everyone. Name dveshe nastina priya. I'm not envy to anyone. Krishna is not envious to anyone, or Krishna is not friendly to anyone. But if somebody does devotional service to Krishna, then he is a friend of Krishna. Krishna is a friend of him. Okay, that's special care for the devotees. So Krishna is neutral. Prabhupada quotes in the Vedanta Sutra, Vaishyamya Nagrina, meaning Lord is transcendent to all material dualities based on our past deeds and desire. Living entities takes on different forms, and Lord does not interfere. Does it mean the Lord have no engagement? No. Atma Ramasya. He is always involved with eternal blissful spiritual activities, but he has nothing to do with material activities. So Krishna is the supreme director of Prakriti, or material nature. So he is the supreme director. Everything is working under his will, his direction. Mayadikshena Prakriti Suyadesa Charachara Hetuna Nereka Odiya Chatat Viparivartate. This material nature, which is one of my energies, is working under my direction, or son of Kunti, producing all moving and non-living beings. Under its rule, this manifestation is created and annihilated again and again. Okay, again and again, Krishna creates and maintains. So without the superintendence of the Supreme Personality, material nature cannot do anything. You've seen a spider creates its web through his tongue, the saliva, and he maintains it and destroys it also. So Lord is the father, material nature is the mother. Say Sarvayonishu Kaundeya Murteya Sambhavidye Tasham Brahma Mahatyunir Aham Bija Pratapita. Krishna says he is the seed-giving father of all species of life. Sri Prabhupada goes in the purport also. He says fragrance of a flower. It's also a Bhakti Shastri question. There's a fragrance of flower, right? And when you go close it, you get the smell and touched by the smelling power of a person. But still, smelling in the flower is detached. It's not together. Even though it appears to be together, it's not attached. The similar connection is there between the material world and the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So we'll take a quick breakout room, and Nivita Mataji, after the breakout room, you can post the attendance link. Okay, I think Manjula Mataji can leave. She has a class. Mataji, can you share it to her personally, the link? She can leave after that.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Yes,
Thank you,
Mataji. Nivita Mataji, you can share the attendance link to Manjula.
Yes, Mataji, with whom?
Huh?
I will share on the group.
No.
To me,
Manjula Mataji. To Manjula Mataji. She is taking 9 p.m. Level 1 Bhagavad Gita class. So
Okay, fine.
Others,
I will.
after the breakout room, you can post. This person is send it to her. Otherwise, what happens? Everyone fills the attendance form and nobody will be in the breakout room. Okay, so I'm assigning breakout room. Oh, where's the question? Explain in your own words Krishna's relationship with the material world with reference to Sanskrit terms and Prabhupada's purports and analogies given in verse 9.4 to 10. So this is your breakout room question. Okay, you need to explain Krishna's relationship with the material world. How is Krishna related to the material world? And you have to use some Sanskrit terms and phrases, analogies from 9.4 to 10. Okay, post that question in the chat. Go for the breakout room. We'll quick breakout room, 5 minutes. 8:30, 8:35 I'll close and we'll fill that announcement after that. Hare Krishna. Mataji, can you post the attendance link? Okay. Yeah. Please fill the attendance form. Hare Krishna. Okay, so who is going to say? From room number 2. And all unmute. Okay. Who's going to speak from room number 2? Hare Krishna. So we had Ramya Mataji, Ruchi Mataji, Sanjay Prabhu, Shriya Mataji, and Nitya Mataji. Yes, who's speaking?
Yes, Mataji. So in this verse we learned there is Avyakta Murtina, which says in unmanifested form cannot be understood by our material senses. So we have to only understand the Supreme Lord by our pure devotional services under proper guidance. Only then Krishna is revealed. And the other verse 9.5, there's one thing, Yogam Aishwaram Bhuta Vritam. In his inconceivable mystic power, the Lord says that everything is resting upon him. So this should not be misunderstood. The Lord is only directly concerned with the maintenance and sustenance, but he has nothing directly interested in this material world. And in 9.7, at the end of the millennium, every material manifestation enters into his nature at the beginning and at the end. So the creation, maintenance, and the annihilation of this material cosmic depends completely on the supreme will of the Lord. And 9.10, Mataji, he is the Father giver who gives seed to every living entity. So just by his glance, he injects all the living entities into the womb of material nature. That's how we see many different species coming out of it. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Yes. Okay, so who's continuing? From room number 2. Yes, room number 1. Who's there in the room number 1?
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. Dandavat Pranam, Hare Krishna to all the assembled devotees. So we are on the same lines, Mataji. The relationship between Krishna and the material world is definitely, he is the father who gives the seed to the material world. And yes, he is described as the Vistabhyaham Idam Kritsnam, which means he's present everywhere by his personal representation, diffusion of his different energies. And yes, he is the creator He's the maintainer and the annihilator of this universe. And during the creation of this material energy, or during the creation of this material world, he lets loose the material energy as the Mahat Tattva, and he enters the energy as the Purusha incarnation, as a Mahavishnu, and then enters as Garbho Dakshai Vishnu. Yet he further manifests himself as Shriro Dakshai Vishnu. And he enters into everything. Similarly, as earlier Mataji has mentioned about the seed-giving father. So it's on the same lines, Mataji.
Yes. Okay, very nice. Okay. So both the rooms have spoken about the different aspects, but then what about analogies? I think, did any one of you mention that? Because that was a part of another of a question. No?
Can I say? Can I
yes,
say?
Yes,
One
yes.
is Yatakasha Sthido Nityam. Like the mighty wind rest in the sky. Though the wind blows very strong, the wind rests in the sky. That is one which I wanted to say. Then another one is Avyakta Murtina. I think it is already spoken. Then Sarva Bhudani Kaunteya, like he's the creator, maintainer, and annihilator. Then that's it.
So that can be the Sanskrit verses. What about the analogies? Like analogy means the example.
The spider creates the web through the saliva, maintains and destroys it.
Maybe you can take from the puppet.
Yes, similar to the king,
yes, the king
as well.
Okay, so the king and the government, so that can be explained. Okay, fine. So when you speak, you should always see about the different parts of the question, because here is spoken, you have to refer to Prabhupada's puppet, and also verses 9.4 to 10, and also analogies. Sanskrit terms, Prabhupada's puppet, and analogies. So you should concentrate on all. Okay, fine. Okay, so that's that. So anybody have taken shelter in this class and likes to take initiation?
Yes, Mataji, I have taken shelter by giving you the form, I think 6 months back.
Yeah, but something like prasadam, not offering.
I have started, Mataji.
Started offering. Okay. Yeah, fine. So you just WhatsApp me because we are processing a new set of initiation. Like already 25 devotees are waiting now. They already got call from Mayapur. So yeah, we're just waiting to send another set. So all the Bhakti Shastri students, actually they said by the end of your course, you're supposed to be initiated. And that's a qualification for Bhakti Vaibhav. You have to register for Bhakti Vaibhav, you should be initiated. That's one qualification. And at the end of Bhakti Shastri, you are expected to be at least qualified for taking initiation. So it's part of our devotional process. Okay. But some have family issues and all that. But still, whoever can, please do it as soon as possible. Okay. So I think we can end. All of you have filled that in this form. After 9 chapters, 7th and 8th. So did I give an open book question for the 7 and 8? Not yet? Okay, I have to post today. Okay, the first open book question of our module 2. Okay, you can take 2 weeks time to fill it up. I'll send the link and the questions. Vanchakalpadrubhasya kripasindhubhesya padidhanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Hare Krishna everyone. Thank you.